Welcome everybody to the 40 Finance channel. Today I'm going to project ahead on the QQQ Reconstitution event that's coming up here on December 20th. It's always the third Friday in December. And what happens in this event is, names are subtracted from the top 100 stocks and names are added to the top 100 stocks. And there's some specific qualifications that you have to get through in order to be included in the QQQ. So I'll go over that. But the biggest thing for this year, and the reason it's probably so anticipated, is Palantir's on a tear on the stock market, and there's a lot of speculation that Palantir will be included in the index. And if you're just searching for that answer, I'll save you the time. I do think Palantir will almost certainly be included in the QQQ. But for this video, I'm going to go through who might be falling out, who might be coming in, and what it all means at the end of the day. Quick promotion here. If you're looking for a new way to research stocks and get a host of opinions on almost every stock imaginable, make sure you check out the link in the description for a huge discount on 1 year of Seeking Alpha Premium. That's what's on the screen here right now. Potentially support my channel in the process. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, there's a lot of subtleties and specifications to the QQQ being included in the index, that is. I'm trying to make this as easy as possible. If you want to go through all the rules, you just go to the prospectus that you can find right off the Invesco website, and you can comb through all this data. To make it easier on you as the viewer, I sort of highlighted the key things and put them in this Google Doc so that they would show up better on the screen. But two things right off the bat: the issuer of the security must be listed exclusively on the NASADAQ Global Select Market or the NASADAQ Global Market. So what I had to do for you is comb through this list and figure out who might be moving up in terms of market capitalization and fill the slots with who might be coming down. It's also very important to note that in the QQQ, a security must be classified as non-financial. So there's no banks involved with the QQQ. Now we start to get into the hierarchy rules. So the first thing is the top 75, where it says ranked issuers, we're just going to call those stocks, okay? The top 75 stocks in the indexes I noted above, they will be selected for inclusion in the index. Then we have stocks which are already in the index. They're already in the top 100. And if they are again in the top 100, they are automatically included again. So based on this rule, if everybody in the top 100 was still in the top 100, there wouldn't be any changes to the QQQ. Now that's not the case this year, but it's something to keep in mind. Now, in the event, if you go through all these things and there's fewer than 100 stocks that pass the following or the first couple criteria, it goes by issuers who are currently in the index and ranked in positions 101 to 125 that were ranked in the top 100 the previous year. So if you are in the index, you drop to 110, you would still be able to maintain your slot. So when we look for people who have fallen out, we're really looking for people who are in that, call it 126 and beyond ranking for this year. And if we get past that point, if there's still not 100 stocks, the remaining positions are filled in rank order by any stock in the top 100 that was not already a member. So assuming there's still slots to be filled after you go through these first things, then they just take the top 100 straight up. Now first, let's see how many slots we have available for people to come in the QQQ. So let's see who might be dropping out of the QQQ heading into 2025. And what I have here, I'm sorry I have to use a spreadsheet on this, but it's really the most true way to look at this data. And what I've done as we go through these ones that are in this purple/pink, these are all names that are currently in the QQQ, but they have fallen below the 125 mark. Now, super important data point about the names that are on here. This is ranked as of today, and they use the data though, is from November 30th. At the close of trading on November 30th, whatever those rankings were. So depending on how huge of a move that could have happened here, some of these names may still be safe. If you look at SMCI, Super Microcomputer Incorporated, they came in at 127, but where were they on November 30th? Like, that's close enough that they could have had an update and still been north of 125, and since they're already in the index, they would stay in the index. And just a quick look here at SMCI, this is year to date. You know, they're up 58% year to date. If you go back to Jan 1, I'm figuring that they're safe, even though on this particular ranking sheet, they get listed at 127. What about Global Foundries? 132. I think I got them highlighted here. Let's take a look at their year-to-date. Their year-to-date, minus 25%. So I'd probably bet $1 that they're going to get lost from the index, but they are still very close. Now, all that being said, even a small change, you know, from November 30th, they could be right back in the running, but they're coming in at 132, and it hasn't exactly been a banner year. What about CDW? With CDW, I can tell you they're almost for sure out. All right, so this is the Seeking Alpha warning here. Year to date, minus 19%, and that is a stock that's ranking 139. I would guess CDW will be eliminated from the QQQ. How about Illumina? Now, looking at their chart, they did have a very bad middle of the year, and they've come back up, and it's actually a net 5% on the year, or heading into net 6% positive from the year. I think what's probably happened here, if they're ranking at 141, I think what you're seeing is a lot of stocks from the bottom have just floated above Illumina because they've had outstanding years. So Illumina is probably at risk coming in at 141. All right, what about Biogen at 144? Year to date, it's down 40%. They're probably out of the QQQ. You know, they're way off the 125 pace, and they've had a terrible year. All right, last one I've highlighted here is Moderna. They're coming in at 190. They're really nowhere close. I think they're safely out. But let's take a look at their year to date. And minus 54%, as you can see there on Seeking Alpha, minus 54%. I think Moderna's had their run. They are no longer in the QQQ, at least in my opinion. Now let's flip the switch and see who could be added. And right off the top here, you have Palantir. Palantir coming in at the 25th ranked stock in the NASADAQ index based on market capitalization. They pass all of the other tests that we've talked about. We know we have at least some room in the index because I just gave you almost a guaranteed 4 names that are coming out. So Palantir coming in at 25. You know they've had the huge year that they've had. I say Palantir's in, no problem at all. Then we get into a weird name. The reason this is blue, the Sanofi ADS. And with Sanofi, the reason that's highlighted blue is, and the same thing for Equinix, neither one of those is in the QQQ today. But if you look at their past history, if you go back to, let's just say this time last year, their stock price is about the same, $48.54. They're not financial services, they're actually pharmaceuticals, as you can see here. I'm not sure why they weren't in it last year, but it would appear as if they were well qualified to be in it last year. So there must be something else that disqualifies them. Unfortunately, I don't know what that is. And the other one that was blue on my ranking spreadsheet was this Equinix. You know, again, they're up 20% this year. They weren't in the index last year, or they weren't in the QQQ last year. And they're not financials, but they are a REIT. So I don't know if them being a REIT is a reason to disqualify them under the terms. Okay, now moving into the greens, which are ones that would qualify. CME, that actually, I found out, I should turn this to blue after I looked at it. That's Comerica, and they are a financial bank of some kind, so they likely will not qualify for the QQQ. Next, as you see, is Coinbase, and Coinbase has had a phenomenal year. But once again, it's a financial, and I had to double check it. It's right here on Seeking Alpha. It's in the financial sector. It's even a financial exchange in terms of industry. So I don't think that Coinbase will qualify despite coming in at 55 on their market cap across the NASDAQ index. All right, next up we have MicroStrategy, which is another Bitcoin play. Easily the second most talked about name that may or may not be included in the QQQ, and I can't see a reason it wouldn't be. All right, so it comes in at 58 on the market cap. Certainly been up this year, plus 490%. We got no finance concerns in terms of sector. I don't see why MicroStrategy would not be in the QQQ. It seems to check off all the boxes. The only thing that I don't know if it raises eyebrows or if it even matters is just the huge run-up that it's had. There's nothing in the rules that says one-year wonders can't come in, right? MicroStrategy's been around for a while as a company. I assume they'll be in. All right, next on the board is NetEase coming in at number 69. They are up 8% this year, market cap of $59 billion. They are not anything to do with financials. It's not a financial sector stock. I would expect NetEase to be in. The only thing that gives me any pause with NetEase is they have been trading around this level. This is a 5-year chart. They've been doing this easily since 2022. So was there another reason that they weren't included? I'm not sure. If we go to the end of 2023, they did take a little dip, but it would have had to been November 30th. So, right here, they're at 114 when they would have made the decision last year. So I don't see why they wouldn't be included, but I could be missing some sort of regulation that applies to them. All right, so that's really my best bets, depending on how many slots we have. A couple more that snuck in and should technically qualify would be Axon Enterprise. They're coming in at number 80 overall right now, and Trip.com, very similar. However, keep in mind that that's an ADS as far as being on the NASDAQ, so I'm not sure how that will work. Then you see one in blue here that I think is kind of funny. The NASDAQ itself, the stock NDAQ, would technically qualify based on market capitalization. I assume they're in the financial sector, though, so they will not be able to insert themselves. And then the last one I'll call out, which should be obvious, there's some talk about Robinhood maybe coming in the QQQ. Market cap-wise, on my sheet, they came in at 99, so they were definitely qualified from there. Obviously, a financial sector play, I don't think they'll be included. All right, guys, so those are my predictions for the reconstitution of the QQQ here coming up on December 20th. Let me know what you think. If you found any names I may have missed, I'm happy to give my thoughts on them in the comments. And before you go, don't forget to check out that special offer on Seeking Alpha Premium. It's an awesome platform. I use it on this channel all the time, and it's at an incredible price right now for a 1-year subscription. I hope everybody's doing well. We'll see you on the next video.